Okay, so I want you to picture a regular Ethernet cable. The one you probably have tangled up in a drawer somewhere, maybe cost you $5.
If that.
Right. Now, imagine a cable, this PureLink CX-100 we're looking at, that costs
For a
$389.99.
single cable. It's
It's
over.
a huge jump. So our mission today is to figure out what's going on here. Is this just an insane markup, or is there some serious engineering that makes this cable worth nearly $400?
Well, that's the thing. When you look at the source material, the actual specs, you start to see this isn't really a cable in the way we think about it. It's more like a piece of professional infrastructure.
An infrastructure component, okay.
Yeah, it's for places where, you know, good enough could actually lead to a catastrophic failure.
So let's get into it. They use this marketing term, TotalWire technology. Is that just a fancy name, or is the copper inside actually
Well,
different?
it's very different. Most cables you buy are UTP, unshielded twisted pair, just wires inside a plastic sleeve. This PureLink cable is UFTP.
All right, break that acronym down for us.
So it means it has an unshielded outer jacket, but inside, every single twisted pair of wires is wrapped in its own foil shield.
Huh.
Think of it like a highway. A cheap cable is like a 4-lane road with no lines painted on it. The signals, the cars can just drift into other lanes. That's crosstalk.
Right, I get it. The data gets jumbled.
Exactly. But with this CX-100, each pair of wires has its own shield, its own concrete barrier. The signals can't bleed into each other, and just as important, outside noise can't get in.
Which is why the specs mention it's for high noise environments. But here's my question. The place where my cables always fail is right at the end, at the plug.
The connector.
Yeah, the little plastic clip breaks or the connection gets loose.
That is the classic weak link. You can have the best cable in the world, but if the shielding stops an inch from the plug, you've basically built a tiny antenna for interference right where it matters most.
So what's different here?
PureLink uses this solid build, fully shielded connector. The idea is to create a seamless end-to-end shield. The plug's designed to be just as tough, just as protected as the cable itself.
And that's what lets them promise things like 10 gigabit data and Ultra HD 4K video without any issues. But I saw something else in here, HDCP 2.2 support. Why does a cable care about copyright protection?
That is a huge gotcha for a lot of people. HDCP is basically a digital handshake between, say, your Blu-ray player and your TV.
To stop piracy.
Right. And if you run a signal over a long, cheap cable, that signal can degrade just enough to make the handshake fail. And what you get is just a black screen, nothing.
So this cable guarantees the handshake stays solid, even over 320 feet.
Exactly.
Okay, it's obviously better. But who's spending almost $400 on this? It's not for you and me to plug in our PlayStation, right?
Definitely not. The sources are pretty clear here. They point to government, medical imaging, financial trading floors, gaming arenas.
So very high stakes places.
The highest. Think about a surgeon using a remote camera. You can't have that video feed stutter because someone down the hall turned on a microwave.
Wow, yeah.
Or a stock trader, where a few milliseconds of lag can literally cost millions. For them, $400 isn't for a cable. It's insurance. It's the cost of knowing the signal will not fail.
It's a set it and forget it solution. You pay a premium so you never, ever have to think about it again. And speaking of professional installs, I saw another acronym, LSCH.
Low smoke, zero hell demo. This is a massive safety feature.
How so?
Most consumer cables have a PVC jacket. If there's a fire, that PVC releases thick, toxic black smoke and hydrochloric acid. It's incredibly dangerous.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. LSCH jackets don't do that. They don't release those halogens. So if you're wiring a hospital, an airplane, or a military base, you're often legally required to use it.
So the price covers the performance, the reliability, and the fact that it won't poison you in a fire.
That's a good way to put it. It meets these deep ISO and ANSI standards that home equipment doesn't even bother with.
It really changes your perspective on what professional grade actually means. It's not just about being faster, it's about being fundamentally more reliable and safe.
It's about survivability.
So that leaves me with a final thought for you. If these massive data-sensitive industries need this level of shielding to stop signal loss in noisy environments, what's happening at home? How much of the internet speed you pay for every month is just, leaking away because of that cheap, unshielded cable that came free with your router?
It might be worth checking what's plugged into the back of your modem.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.